man.
Welcome, everybody. Here we go. It's that time again. Matt Connarton Unleashed, and we are live from the studios of WMNH 95.3 FM in glorious downtown Manchester, New Hampshire. Also on Comcast 97 if you're in Manchester. Streaming at WMNHradio.org and on the Facebook, on the Matt Connarton Unleashed Facebook page. And, of course, you can always go to mattconnerton.com and get all the contact info for the show right there as well. And, of course, I am not alone.
Hello.
Jenny is here at the news desk.
I'm not alone. What do you mean, of course?
Well, you're usually here with me on Monday.
Well, that's true.
Yes. Monday, President's Day.
Yeah, do you think Michelle Obama gets up in the morning and it's it's your day?
What's that?
You think Obama says it's my day?
Right.
Day,
well, it is. It is. Well,
Bill Clinton and Bush can all go, it's my day.
I don't know. Maybe. It is a very exclusive club. There aren't very many ex-presidents.
No.
Right. Yes.
I can only think of 3.
President's Day, February 15th, 2021.
Carter, yeah, there's a former president. Yeah. I don't think I left anybody out.
Who else did you mention?
Let's see. Carter, Bush, Obama, Clinton. Yeah.
You did leave somebody out.
No, I didn't.
Oh, my goodness.
No. That was the full list.
If there's any Republicans who still listen to the show, they're very angry with you right now.
The show is the operative word. Although I've heard there may be a new Republican Party-ish.
Yeah.
So we'll see how far that goes.
We'll see. Well, also joining us on the couch, and we'll explain why he's allowed to be here in a moment. But a familiar face, Christian Lacoss.
I'm back.
Ooh, I got to turn you down.
That's a little hot.
Hot mic. Well, welcome back, Christian Lacoss.
It's great to be here. It's only been 5 months.
Has it been that long?
September? I want to say September.
Wow. It has been a long time.
Yep.
Been a long time.
Aliens dropped him off.
Right.
Yep.
Stork.
Well, no, here's why we'll explain why Christian is allowed to be here. So, if you're a regular listener of the show, you know that we've kind of made
had him
it
spayed and neutered.
Well, yes. Well, we've made it.
We'll go with that. Yeah.
Sure. Jenny and I decided that with very limited exceptions, we were going to keep it within the household as far as who is in the room between 4 and 6 p.m. The only exception to that really being somebody else who's already in the bubble as far as the station. So, like on Thursdays, if Daryl and Ben want to come in early, they're already in the building. And Daryl is here every morning anyway, for example, or Rob on Friday or whatnot. But the decision we had made is that until Jenny and I were both vaccinated, it was we're gonna keep it a very tight bubble. What?
Are both vaccinated?
What did I say?
Were. We haven't been there
right,
yet.
Right. Are both vaccinated? Yes.
I hope we'll be there soon.
Right. But I hope so too. Well, you have an appointment in March, and
I do.
I'm expecting to get mine somewhere between who knows when and God knows when.
Me too.
I have hope that you'll see it by June. At least I'm hoping.
Yeah. Well,
I hope to see
can
it
hope
before I die. I'm slowly losing.
Right. Well, we're all dying, but
slowly.
So Jenny and I, we did, after much talk about it, we did decide to adopt, and we went to a home for wayward boys.
They found
recently,
me there.
and we found we didn't expect to run into him there, so we were like, well, I guess we'll take this one because we know him.
I can explain.
He was in the corner, and it looked familiar.
I was going to say, I was in the corner.
Yeah.
All sad. Sitting there, lonely,
but
torn clothes.
Yes.
Yeah.
But so
And he latched onto my leg and wouldn't let go.
Right.
I was dragging him across the floor.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
So Jenny and I had a room to rent because we had someone leave on us rather abruptly.
Yeah.
The individual who produced my theme music for the show, actually. So we had a room to rent. So Christian is living with us now. So he's now in our bubble. He is a part of our household. So we decided, well, we may as well let him join us. On the show,
in the basket.
We'll put him in the basket because he lives with us now. So
I'm the mama hen.
Yes,
I'm honored.
Well, you should be.
Boy, you should feel like poop right now, Matt. After all that,
what do you mean?
Because he just said that.
What do you mean?
You should feel like
The fact you said you felt me at a wayward boys' home.
Home for wayward boys.
In a corner.
In a corner.
Put Christian in the corner.
Mm-hmm. Somebody put Christian in the corner.
Man, I spent like the first 10 years of my life in the corner because I did not want to behave. Corners and me aren't friends anymore.
No.
Try to stay far away from those.
We're taking him down the good path.
Right,
the good
right.
juju path.
Yes. Gonzo called it.
Yes, he did.
Gonzo,
he did.
You hit it with a nail on the head there, man.
So he didn't already know? You haven't had any communication? Okay, so he guessed right.
You let the cat out of the bag without even asking for permission.
I think there's like 2 people that I know that know.
What? What do you mean?
Let the whole cat out of the bag.
What do you mean?
Maybe he wanted to say it a certain way. I don't know.
I'm sorry. Did you want to say it a certain way, Christian?
No. I was in my head thinking of a way, but I was like,
Oh. So, so there you go.
Now you have to own up to living with Matt. I mean, I'm sorry,
That's
dude.
right.
I mean, hey.
He should have asked you first, but...
Listen, me and Matt putting our heads together, it's scary.
I noticed this.
It's scary.
It is scary, especially if popcorn's involved.
Oh, I do.
Popcorn and Rockstar.
I do love
Energy
popcorn,
drinks.
yes, and energy drinks.
They're both going to just kill their tummies.
Oh,
it's already dead.
Tony D says, very nice of you to do this, Jenny and Matt. Christian's a good kid, LOL.
I'll let you know.
He didn't say the LOL.
No, so far he's done well.
My imagination placed an LOL at the end of that.
So that wasn't there.
that was actually really strange.
Don't worry, Tony within 30 seconds of me being on air texts me. He goes, a little too close to the mic. Looks like you want to kiss it, LOL.
Who?
Yes.
And Tony.
Said that to who?
Me. He texts me.
You stop trying to produce us from a distance, huh?
Oh, my
man,
goodness.
Listen.
Well, he wouldn't be the first.
Maybe I'm trying to
kiss
him like
right?
I haven't been in 5 months.
Oh, you went there. I can
what?
imagine the steam coming out of his ears right now.
What?
The comparison that you just laid.
What do you mean? No, Fred Bonig. He sends me all those songs to play.
Oh, I wasn't the same person.
Which I
thinking of.
So me and Jenny went on the same wavelengths here.
Yeah, I was thinking of Tony
good,
D.
Right, good save
Were
on
you
my
on
part.
Tony D? Good save on whose part?
I was on
part?
somebody else.
I know. Yeah, I think we were all thinking different things.
Potentially.
What?
Potentially.
I thought you said percentually.
Now I can't even speak.
I think the first time you said percentually.
No.
I don't even know what the heck you guys are trying to say. So I'm over here. Just what?
Right.
We went from Tony to percentually, and I missed whatever happened between that.
Hmm.
We're still on a plague.
Plague?
What?
What? I just missed half of what she said and half of what you said.
So we have a call.
Start paying attention, young man.
First call of the week.
I'm
Hi.
putting money on it's Eric.
Welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's
Tony
this?
D. Ha-ha! I got it.
You called
I
it.
got it.
Tony.
I
Why
called
did
it.
I not
I
say
called
Tony?
it.
Tony D from Philadelphia. How are you, my friend?
What's up, guys?
What's going
How
on?
are you, Christian?
I'm good. The sky's up. Actually, the sun's not up. So yeah.
That's good. That's good. Well, I'm glad to hear all the good stuff that's happened for you. You deserve it.
Oh yeah.
And,
Thank you.
Yeah, that's awesome. But I was calling because I was calling with the Lindsey Graham stuff, Matt. Man, I don't know what to take from this whole Lindsey Graham thing after this acquittal and all this. I mean, what do you take from his speech that he had about that? The MAGA, what was it? The MAGA following is strong or whatever he said. Is that what how he pronounced it, or am I saying this
MAGA?
wrong?
Yeah. And he says Laura Trump is the future of the Republican Party in South Carolina. Apparently.
Oh, when did that break?
Oh, he said that either today or yesterday.
He's before he sold his soul to the Satan.
Well, that was a long time ago, but
wasn't it?
Yeah. Lindsey Graham, he's all in with MAGA. You know, it's funny. People keep talking about this civil war within the Republican Party, but I don't think there is one. I think it basically is at this point the party of Trump and Marjorie Taylor Greene and QAnon. Because, the people who dare step out of line get smacked down, like these senators who dared vote for conviction over the weekend. You know, they're getting censured and rebuked by their own Republican state parties at home. And Lindsey Graham, he knows where his bread is buttered, and he's all in. He's all in with Trump and the family.
And like melt-faced Mitch wants to go ahead and go up on the stand there and pretty much say that Trump is guilty of this.
Yes.
I was so confused with that. I was like, melt-faced Mitch, you need to hang it up, dude. You need to hang it up. I was waiting for Teddy Bear Cruz to come in.
I have a theory. Well, here's what I think it is. And by the way, I mean, Mitch makes having it both ways look easy. He basically got up there and gave the closing argument for the prosecution while explaiing why he voted not guilty. But here's what I think it is with Mitch.
Doublespeak.
I think Mitch felt that I think Mitch wants to put Trump behind the Republican Party and wants to be rid of him, but he also is an 80-year-old man who doesn't want to get hassled at the airport.
And he knows at this point in time he's got nowhere to go. He's got nowhere to go. If he wants to stay in the game, he's got to stay on the Trump train. And
he's safe. He just won re-election. He's not worried about anything.
6 years?
Yeah, and then by the time he's 86, he's going to retire. So that's what I think.
Oh, maybe not.
I mean, where's Teddy Bear Cruz at? I haven't seen him speak. Where's he at?
Oh no, he was doing the rounds. He's been out there.
I feel like he's irrelevant at this point.
Who?
I don't even know how he stays married. Like, if I was his wife, I would just be horrified and embarrassed. So the dude that called me nothing, you're still with there,
name.
huh?
Great name, Tony.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. I came up with that over the weekend, actually. I was like, oh, Teddy Bear Cruz. That works out pretty well.
Milk-face.
I try to give all
I think it sounds too
nice.
He's not a teddy bear.
It was hairy. It's hairy in the face, Jen.
That doesn't make him a teddy bear.
Yeah, he's got the big beard.
But
there are a lot of things that are hairy that are just not cute.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I don't know, dude.
On another note,
I think now after all this, Matt, I think that Trump is going to come out of hiding. There's going to be a lot of stuff that's going to be said on the forefront till this New York stuff starts coming out, because that's like the next thing, and then the Georgia stuff that's going to start coming out. Then he's going to go back in hiding again, and I think these two states is where we're going to see problems that he's going to have problems with is New York firmly, and then Georgia secondly, because both of them are huge things that could turn into huge criminal acts. From what I understand, from what that Georgia woman was saying, that these are going to turn pretty much into serious criminal things in Georgia for what he did.
Well, and that's basically what Mitch seemed to be referring to, is that, he said, basically making the constitutional argument that, they couldn't impeach, it was too late to impeach Trump because he was out of office after he was the one who made sure it was delayed until he was out of office, the impeachment, but, or the trial, the impeachment trial in the Senate. But he did say that, he kind of, without coming right out and saying it, alluded to that Trump's legal problems are not behind him, but are actually just beginning.
Yeah, but that's passing. All he did was he just gave an explanation for why he passed the bond.
Oh, I know. I'm not defending him
seriously,
at all.
People, are you defending this guy? 1 minute he says, well, we can't vote on that because it's too late. There's no way for us to take that up now, so he refuses to hear it.
Yeah.
Then after the new president is seated, oh, geez, if we had done this before now, that might have been. Then I would, of course, found him guilty. But since you did it too late, I can't find him guilty.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. Well,
are these people really that stupid?
I'm just so tired of hearing about this guy. I mean, the worst part is the White House Facebook page is so slammed right now with Trump supporters. I don't know if you guys follow that at all.
No.
But the Biden administration, or the Biden-Harris page is asking for people to go over there because it's being spammed by so many Trump supporters. And, like, I actually took a look at it today, and it is some really nasty comments that are on the White House page.
It's disgusting.
Some of the things that are said are dreadful.
So is their Instagram.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah, it's dreadful. I mean, some of the things that are being said. You're wishing death upon someone on the White House Facebook page.
It's a cult.
It is.
You're stupid for doing that because there's going to be like legal action from people that are like dealing with that. You're going to get arrested for wishing harm on the president. Like you're not going to get especially with your own freaking name on it. You know?
The Secret Service will show up at your door. If you threaten, if you make those kinds of threats, they take that extraordinarily seriously. Even if it's just online trolling, they take it very seriously.
Yeah. So, anywho, Christian, be good, brother. Love you, kid. Keep up the good work, and I hope you ate that God's chicken. I'm out.
I ate that God's chicken, and as an American citizen, I feel lied to. Okay, Popeye's chicken was garbage.
You are so wrong. I'm out.
It was
all right. Tony, he doesn't even want to hear your rebuttal. Wow.
Oh man, I wasted way too much money.
Wow.
I wasted way too much money. I gave them 3 tries. Mm-hmm. 3 tries. I bought their chicken. Mm-hmm. I bought their shrimp, and then I bought the chicken sandwich.
Uh-huh.
I put all my faith in that chicken sandwich for nothing.
I was going to say, I hope you didn't put all your face in it. You're supposed to put the chicken sandwich in your face. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed.
Who's this? Confused me.
This is Raven.
Hi, Raven.
How you guys doing today?
Good. How are you? Welcome to the show.
Good. Thank you. So, new viewer. I thought I'd just call in and see if I could get through. Happy that I did. I wanted to ask you guys what you thought about any kind of civil suit filed against Trump. Okay, so we've tried this impeachment through the official political channels, but for all the damage and destruction and death and mayhem and everything that happened on January 6th, I'm surprised that some part of the federal government, some institute of some sort, hasn't said, you know what, we are holding this man financially responsible for the issues that happened that day. And what are you guys and your opinions on that?
That's I hadn't thought of it from that angle. That's very interesting. I wonder how they would go about that. I mean, it logically it makes sense to me.
No, it doesn't.
Why?
Absolutely.
Because it's not. Because we have to be honest in this conversation, and it's not entirely on him. It's on him. It's on the Proud Boys. It's on the evangelical preachers that are out there. It's on all of them. Nothing like this would have happened if the support wasn't there. He needed the support,
Absolutely.
And he got it. And he got the support from the pulpits of churches.
Right.
They're all responsible for what happened. Unless you want to go down to some, like, one could say Pence absolutely has a right to argue that his life was placed in jeopardy.
Right.
It was specifically, I'm sure Nancy Pelosi would have a leg to stand on as well.
But I think Raven is probably, correct me if I'm wrong, Raven, but it sounds to me, I assume you're suggesting this based on, it would be the same logic as why you would try Trump for incitement, right? If you're going with the premise that Trump is responsible ultimately because he incited this, then for that same
Absolutely.
reason, for the same exact reason, you would hold Trump responsible for the damage.
As far as the Senate and the impeachment and everything, that was from a political standpoint. He still has yet to have any kind of criminal charges to where he could face jail time or civil charges where he would be financially responsible. Let's not forget that O.J. Simpson was acquitted of the murder, but he was also held responsible where he was convicted in civil court, and so he had to pay to the tune of millions of dollars to the family for damages for the death of, honestly, I can't remember her name, I apologize,
victims.
But it's kind of the same idea that, there are other legal ramifications that we could pursue or that private citizens could pursue, or even state departments could pursue. Like, for example, if Department of the Interior or whoever actually is responsible for securing the premises of the Capitol building, decided to sue Trump. Go where the money is. Hit him where it actually hurts.
Yeah, that's interesting. I hadn't thought of it from that angle, but I do think it makes logical sense.
But you're talking about a specific victim. Who is the specific victim in this case?
Well,
I mean,
I guess it would be the government, right? It's government. It's government property.
For the damages to the building.
Yeah,
or it could be the family of the fallen police officer.
That's what I'm.
Now there's a possibility right there. Now you've got a specific victim, but I think in general, there isn't. That's not. I mean, it's,
what sucks is
if you're going to reach for the victim, you got to reach for the people that are responsible as well. I don't see the reach going.
Yeah, no, good point.
I really want to.
But the guy, I mean, he passed away. I mean, one could definitely argue that because of what President Trump said and did that day, that man is dead, and he may not have been dead if not for what Trump said.
Anyone who is harmed or placed in danger. What were you going to say, Christian?
I was to say that's what I've really wanted to see. Why, like, the family hasn't come out and filed some type of legal action against the Trump organization, or
I don't see that happening because of the nature of the way that he passed away.
Yeah.
I've never heard of a family of somebody fallen in the line of service that turned around and sued the department.
I know.
No, but suing Trump, turning around and suing Trump. I think Raven's onto something with this whole concept.
100%. And even if
thank you. Thanks for taking my call, guys. I got to go back to work. Thank you.
All right, Raven. Thanks for calling. Take care.
But let me continue. Even if, like, on a federal level, charges don't go through, he's gonna get caught up on the state level, whether it's New York, Georgia.
That's been my prediction.
He will. What goes around comes around.
The state of New York, I even went so far as to predict several times on the show that sort of hyperbolically, but not necessarily, that as soon as he was no longer president, that he'd be indicted by the state of New York Attorney General's office. I still think that is probably inevitable. I mean, they've already ruled, a judge in New York State ruled at one point that no member of the Trump family can ever again sit on a board of or have any involvement in any sort of charity,
right,
because they got caught self-dealing.
And isn't he also barred from educational institutions as far as, like,
with everything
with his Trump University?
He should be.
I don't think he can, like, try and do that one again.
Yeah.
Hey, wait, he had a university?
Trump University.
Yeah.
I ain't trying to pay.
Trump steaks. There's another
Trump
one.
wine.
Food. Oh, yeah.
Trump ties. Ties, too.
Trump ties.
He does have a clothing brand.
The Trump University,
ties.
The Trump University one, though. I mean, that
one's extra special.
Well, it is, and so are the people who signed up for it, because I just
That's
don't.
where his cult started.
Well, no.
It's the same people that see
just
an ad and they're like, "Oh, $25 to go to this thing.
You
sit
gotta
down and
be-
you're going to sell me on your plan."
You got to be really. No offense to anyone.
That's a huge industry.
No offense to anyone who fell for it, but how gullible or desperate do you have to be to fall for something?
The stakes were worse.
To fall for something
Stakes were worse.
called Trump University. I mean, there must have been an infomercial about it, right? How would these people have even found out about
and
it?
little gurus going around, they come to the local hotel and they rent out the little room there and they flood it with 50 people, $75 a pop to come and get this great plan that's going to make you a millionaire.
But it's so easy to and maybe it was his experience of people actually signing up for that really solidified in Trump's mind how easy it is to grift people, because people are so eagerly grifted. I mean, you look at the way Christian evangelicals, like the way they idolize, and idolatry is a sin, by the way, the way they idolize Trump and they revere him so much, and it's like, but they're used to turning on their televisions on a Sunday morning and seeing a guy in a $20,000 suit telling them, "Send me your money, send me your support, and I'll make sure that you get into heaven." So they were already primed for it. You know what I mean?
This is exactly how Hitler happened. This is how mom and dad sent their little kid off to Hitler Youth. This is how it happened. For my entire life have I always said nothing. You don't compare Nazism to anything else. You don't do that. You don't do that. You don't do that. But look at it. Just be honest and look at it. This is how Nazism started. is with a guy like Trump, who spoke really great for the people, said everything the people wanted to hear, gave them a victim, gave them a person to blame for all the sorrows in the world, whether it was all the illegals coming across the border, that's where all your rapists come from. And we don't need to change our judiciary system. We need to back the boys in blue. That's why the little black boys keep getting killed every day. It's that they believe it. He says the sky is blue, it's blue. Period. If he says dead people voted, dead people voted.
Right.
If he says, if they found one ballot that fell out of some mailman's thing, thousands of ballots they found, they believe it. Lock, stock, barrel.
Oh, yeah.
The man can do nothing wrong, and nothing he says is wrong. He never takes it. He's a person that has never in his life, to my knowledge, you tell me if I'm wrong, ever stood up in front of the public and said he was wrong about anything.
Correct.
I feel like there's maybe been one time, but I can't remember it.
So this is why I respect Biden so much more, because he stood up there and he said, I was wrong about the 1984 Criminal Justice Act.
94. Crime bill.
Sorry, crime bill.
Yeah.
But to be able to do that is to be human. And he is and Trump is a megalomaniac.
84 might have been Anita Hill. Was that Anita Hill?
I'm not sure.
I want to say yes.
Yeah. Or it was sometime in the 80s. I was just a young lad, a wee urchin. You weren't even born yet.
No. No. But look at this. It was this was my first time voting, right?
This year.
Look what the hell I witnessed. I witnessed before the elections, I witnessed like Trump bashing and all his, I'm going to say cult, okay?
Yeah.
Just for like.
Oh, it is.
Because it is. And it's like, I witnessed everything he did. I witnessed the back and forth with Biden and everything. And it disgusted me. And then January 6th, it kind of was like, is democracy dead? What's going on? Why the hell are we going through this?
What did you think as a 19-year-old American male?
I was
of
like
seeing people
old
well, enough to be your mom and dad or your grandparents and what they did that day. What did that invade you? What did it say to you?
This is screwed up. This is screwed up, obviously. It's like, why are we doing this when, there's so many other ways to protest. Like, yeah, he lost. We get you peed off, right? We get that. And you have every right to be. And it was like, there was times where I was asking myself, why wouldn't you, as a public figure, as the commander-in-chief, go out there before 6 hours into this thing, going 2 hours in or an hour in, formulate some type of statement and be like, listen, I understand you're frustrated. I understand, we lost, but it's time to, hey, we can't be doing this. This isn't what America's about. But instead, he went out there 6 hours later, gave some half-hearted, half-ass speech on Twitter. Was it Twitter or the?
Well, no, he released
on Facebook.
He released a video
while it was still going on. He released a video that said, you have to go home now. Go home in peace. I love you, and I understand.
We love you. You're good people.
You're good people.
You look into that man's eyes, you can tell he has no remorse for anything he's done.
And what did he say when he was asked to send people over there? He's like, I guess you can see what they think of the election.
That's when Kevin McCarthy called him, and he said to Kevin McCarthy, I guess they're more upset about the election than you are. Yeah.
What do you think fueled the night of broken glass during the second? Prior to World War II, there was the night of broken glass, which most people know about. Or I can't think of the exact Hebrew way of saying it, but the people were fueled in those moments to go after Jewish people. Men were raping Jewish women. People were busting out store windows. All of that was fueled by Hitler's rhetoric about how this is your enemy. This is who's destroying your country. This is who's destroying your country, taking your job, keeping you out of work. Does that sound familiar at all?
Right.
This is what Trump has said over and over and over again. He's beat it into his followers' heads. It's the radical left. These are who are destroying your country. If you want to have a country, you're going to have to fight like heck, or you're not going to have a country anymore. I said it in the very beginning that I was never going to be that person to compare that, because I've always been against comparing anybody to Hitler, because what he did and how he decimated families is just beyond comprehension. But for my entire life, I've wondered how. How did people go there? How did they do that? How did they take to the streets that night? And I'm looking at it, and this is exactly how it happened, and it scares me to death that we have not learned our lesson.
There's another parallel too that nobody points out, and I'm not sure why, but with Hitler, part of why he was able to how he became popular was, he was effective at resurrecting the German economy. Well, what do
and how do you do that though?
But when you talk to MAGA people, like what's one of the things they say, like when they talk about Trump and his alleged accomplishments,
he brought back the economy,
right? Because according to them, their narrative is that we were in some sort of terrible economic depression at the end of the Obama administration, and then as soon as Trump was inaugurated, the economy just sprung to life, which is not only completely false. You can't tell them that, but not only is that completely false, but it's the same thing. They make it all about the economy, and that was how Hitler was a big part of how he was able to succeed. Because if you look, I mean, historically,
he was charismatic, but women swooned and liked him. He was that good in front of a microphone that he made men want to. Where do I sign up?
Right.
Oh yes, I'm for my country.
Yeah.
That's what he did.
Yeah.
He finessed. He was good at that. He was the dude in the mall or in the hotel giving you the spiel on how you're going to make millions of dollars with this program.
Yeah.
And that's how Trump has done this. And that's why he continues to do it. And we need to be terrified in that regard. We need to seriously go after some of this stuff, or we're going to have even worse crimes happening. We're going to have more insurrectionists. We're going to have more white supremacists. We got a whole organization here in our state that wants us to break away from the union, and maybe we need to take it a little more seriously and stop. It starts saying something about it, because we leave it to the undertone.
You're referring, of course, to NHexit.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Stupidity, waste of money, waste of time. I could give you a million other things you could do that would be so much more beneficial to people. But you're selfish and you don't know how.
Well, even Dave Ridley realizes it's never going to happen, but he likes advocating for it anyway.
Because he's selfish, and that's all he wants to advocate for, instead of doing something that could actually benefit society. Hey, I'm sorry. It's a waste of time, money, and energy. You want to use your money and energy to help society and have a better today? Why don't you go get some coats and gloves and go out there and help warm some people up? Get some meals and go out and feed somebody. Go to some elderly person's house and visit with them for a day, because they're alone all the time, every day.
Yeah.
Do something that actually carries some weight and could actually potentially affect one person's life, and you can help all of humanity. I really do believe in that.
Yeah.
I do believe in that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let me give the numbers, 603-250-6007, 603-250-6007. You can also text us at 617-917-4476.
And it's Krishnox.
Yes.
Which I am probably still mutilating things today, Miriam. I apologize, but my inner Jew is not going well with me right now.
You can tweet me at Matt Connarton, or send an email to matt@mattconnerton.com. And of course, you can always opine and interact in the Facebook live chat. We'll say hello to everyone in there in a moment. But the best thing to do so that we can hear your dulcet tones is give us a call at 603-250-6007. And I also want to remind you, we are proudly sponsored by the Hop Knot in the Brady Sullivan Plaza at 1000 Elm Street. Don't go there today, because Monday and Tuesday is their weekend. But they have delicious gourmet pretzels. They have craft beer. They have wine. They have those. Do they always have those cupcakes?
They
No,
have
that was
cupcakes?
special for Valentine's Day. Those were beer infused cupcakes. They were, and from a local. I wish I could remember the name of the bakery. It is a Manchester bakery. I should find that out. They would. Oh my God, they were amazing.
I ate one of those last night. It was quite delicious. It was quite delicious. Yes.
Yeah, no, I want to find out the name of it because I want to go to that bakery.
Yes,
I really do.
But please,
Wasn't Queen City Cupcakes.
I'm not sure.
I've been into them a lot lately. That's where
I thought it was a different name. I thought it was a different name. I thought it was like a person's name.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll have to find out.
I'm trying to think. The only person I could think of is Angela's.
I don't know.
No.
I'm gonna. It's not going to work for me. I'm going to have to find out from Kenny.
We'll find out.
Yeah, I'll find out.
But no, the Hop Knot's great. They do everything very safely there. The staff is masked at all times, even out back in the kitchen, and the tables are nice and spread apart. And they're very diligent and thorough about cleaning and sanitizing consistently. They take COVID very seriously. So please support them and all of our wonderful sponsors here at WMNH. I saw Mike Pelopita in the Facebook live chat. Mike, of course, from Queen City Cabinetry. You can bring your kitchen to life with Queen City Cabinetry. And that reminds me of the ad for Queen City Cabinetry, which is voiced by our own Peter White of The Morning Show with Peter White. Peter will be back tomorrow. So, of course, he was out for a few days with his illness there. He was in the Elliott Hospital for a couple of nights, but he surprised us with a phone call on, was it Friday or Thursday that he called? I think it was Friday.
Was it?
Yeah, I think so.
Sure.
I can't remember.
And he called and explained what had gone on with him, and he's fine, and he'll be back tomorrow live on the morning show with Peter White, which you can hear weekdays from 7 to 9 a.m. with a replay from 2 to 4 p.m. right before this program. The
delicious bakery is Wild Orchard Bakery.
Oh, okay.
So you have to take me there now to get a treat.
Wild Orchard?
Yes, Wild Orchard Bakery.
Oh.
They're new. They just opened up, I want to say.
And they had done it together with Litherman's Limited, which is the beer company that they infused the cupcakes with.
Litherman's I know very well. I used to be I was in a band with Michael Halpley Pierce of Litherman's.
Yeah, he's awesome. Mike's awesome.
So they infused those cupcakes with that. I mean, amazing, right?
Yes.
That was amazing.
Yes. I want to say I met him once at the Hop Knot. I was in there getting a drink, and
he's a tall man.
Yes, he handed me a mask with the Litherman's logo on it, and I love that thing.
Yeah,
this is awesome.
Yeah, we were in a band about, like 10 years ago now.
Hey, I was in a band once. Not anymore, though.
Why not?
COVID and politics.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Talk about one thing you'd think wouldn't destroy a band. Politics destroyed us.
Someone you used to... Yes. Oh, it's the same guy, right? Brian?
Yeah, man. I don't know what happened. Him and Norris.
Yeah.
Hated me for what I said. I was like, wow.
Well, that's the thing. When you're not in a cult with people, they get upset with you. Yeah, because he was the same guy who called me an idiot, right, on the Facebook.
I think so. Yeah.
Just out of nowhere,
about an armchair quarterback.
Just out of nowhere, he's like, "Oh, Matt Connarton's an idiot."
I'm an armchair general.
Which I'm actually surprised doing this show. I don't get much more hate than I do,
dude.
But let's see. We'll say hello to everybody in the chat.
We all love you. No hate.
I know.
We love you.
DJ Midas is in the chat room. Midas, of course, part of the WMNH family, host of Late Night Delight, which you can hear every Saturday night beginning at midnight all the way to 4 a.m. with the replay on Sunday night. Midas says, good afternoon, gang. Tony D is in the chat room. Wayne Noel is a top fan from Michigan. Hello, Wayne. Tony D really liked that song that we opened with.
I like that a lot. That was really good.
Theory. I forget the name of the track now.
I want to check them out.
But, yeah, really good. Tony's the one who sent us that.
Yeah, no, that was a really good song there, Tony. Thank you for sending that one along. I like it.
Let's see. Gonzo, I did mention, is in the chat room. Raven, our new friend who called a little bit, is in the chat room as well. Eric Street joins us in the chat. Nice show this weekend. Pretty funny. Haha. Referring, of course, to Tony D's show, The Tony D Show, which is live, yes, Saturdays from 5 to 7 p.m. online. And, of course, you can find the podcast edition on all your favorite podcasting platforms. The People's Mayor, Glenn R.J. Willett, is in the chat room. Glenn says, so much for democracy.
Yeah,
I believe
right?
referring to the acquittal of Donald John Trump.
I still want somebody to explain to me how it is that burning a flag is one of the worst things you can do with a flag, but beating somebody over the head with it and taking out their eye isn't. Like, how does that work? Is there like a certain level of flag violence that's allowed? Like, it's okay if it's a little battered, but
the whole backing
work?
As long as you don't destroy the flag.
the whole backing the blue is a little
so if
is
you're
a
beating
confusing
somebody with
concept
them and
to
you get
people.
blood on it, is that a problem?
Yep. I don't know,
Is it
man.
okay?
I don't know
Like
how this
Igu,
logic works. I've given
Brain
up.
matter?
Yeah.
Like, does that matter?
It's all very confusing.
I know. I mean, like, I'm so confused by the new Republican Party. I don't know where their cut lines are.
You mean the cult, the Republican cult?
Yeah, the QAnons.
Don't get me wrong. There are some nice Republicans out there, so I'm
There
gonna tone down what I said there.
I'm
Yeah.
not sure anymore.
I don't know.
I'm
but
not sure anymore.
listen,
No,
you
there-
good Republicans, get those nutheads straightened out for us, please. Thank you.
There are.
Figure them out.
That's why I always say Chris Sununu might be the last Republican I ever vote for.
Right?
Melanie Fedderson is in the chat. Melanie says, "I've heard ethics and morals are pretty annoying to have to carry around on your shoulders when
They're
you
heavy.
are when you
Those
are
still exist?
when you are old too."
I don't know that.
A lot of Republicans are old white men. So, yeah, I guess if you're, well, Mitch McConnell. Oh, I know. She was referring to Mitch McConnell, I think, because he's 80. So, for him to have to carry, but he never had
He's
the
got a
burden.
pretty-
I've been saying it forever. We're not going to get out of this mess until the grouchy old white men stop leading the country. They're going to die off. We got to get rid of that breed. The breed of people that, lit the cigar in their office and throw their hand up some woman's skirt. Yeah, that happened.
Oh.
Seriously, like, we're not going to get away from this thinking until we get away from them.
Glenn says nearly $500 million in damages to the U.S. Capitol, referring to our conversation earlier with Raven.
We're finally in today's society that people like Justin Timberlake are actually apologizing and recognizing what a misogynist environment that we've had for women, especially in the work field.
I think he wanted to before. I
don't think so.
I don't know. I don't think he knew how.
What, Justin Timberlake?
Yeah, he apologized for pulling off. Who was it? Janet
he
Jackson.
apologized to Janet Jackson, and he apologized to Britney Spears for the things that he did, and he pulled her costume off. Like, put this in reality of today's sake. Back then,
Me Too movement.
Back then, everybody blamed Janet Jackson for it. It was a costume malfunction. They called it. But Justin Timberlake actually grabbed a hold of her costume and ripped it off.
Yeah.
He ripped off the bodice that exposed her breast.
Yeah, I
He
saw
was
that.
invited
I was
back
like,
to
what?
he was invited back to the Super Bowl the next year. Janet Jackson was banned from ever performing again. Janet Jackson lost tons of money and shows for the costume malfunction that was actually a man grabbing a hold of a piece of the material on her outfit and ripping it off. But he wasn't held responsible. She was. In today's society, with the conversations we're having now, people are seeing this as more like, oh, yeah, that's not okay.
Right.
Like, this really isn't. We can't allow men to be doing this anymore. Men shouldn't, grab a hold of a woman like that. Because those are the things that our society has allowed and accepted as norms that are now finally getting to be a society that doesn't see that as an okay thing anymore. We're not there yet by a long shot, but we're going in the right direction for a change.
We have a call. Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
Good afternoon, Matt. It's Gene Simmons of Kiss.
Gene Simmons of Kiss.
Oh, my God!
Oh, how are you, my friend? It's wonderful to hear from
I'm
you.
doing just fine. I'm trying to do my best here to get through this pandemic, but
Yes.
my music is getting me through. I just wanted to bring up a story of my wardrobe malfunction I once had in the past.
Yes.
Oh boy.
It was back in the mid-'80s. I was just finishing up a show, and it was the night I met Cher, actually, and she was backstage in my room, and I was in full Kiss costume. I was the god of thunder that night, and I went into my dressing room, and Cher was sitting there, and she ripped my trousers off.
Wow.
Sounds like a fun night.
I was standing there in nothing but my Kiss boots.
I don't like you anymore.
In the mid 80s, there's something a little wrong about your timeline, Gene Simmons of Kiss. But I realize you're getting older.
It's been that long to meet Cher?
No, trust me, it was the mid-80s, Matt. Don't listen to the news. It's fake news, as you know.
Well, it's just that you wouldn't have been in the makeup and the anyway. Yes, Gene Simmons.
So Cher decided to rip my trousers off after the show, and
before or after
the
the
reason
podcast?
I said, Cher, why are you doing this to me? And she said, well, Gene, I always wanted to know if you wore makeup all the way down to your feet.
Whoa!
Wow.
Oh, so it wasn't that fun of a night. Okay.
Oh my goodness. But
way to show off sexualizing there, yeah.
but you wouldn't have been in the makeup in the mid 80s. Anyway, yes.
But let me tell you something. She wasn't disappointed.
Wow. Oh
man.
my goodness.
That's
wow.
awful.
Wow.
Yeah.
In fact, it took her
You
2
are
weeks to
just
get the
a
white
bad
makeup off her
person.
face.
Go away.
Wow.
I do not like you.
Oh.
I do not like you anymore.
Hey, be nice. It's Gene Simmons.
I don't
Of Kiss.
care.
Yo, what?
I'm having a serious conversation about this, and here he comes.
Well, it's,
Trouble.
Jenny, relax, sweetheart.
When you say it like that.
oh my.
All you need to do is close your eyes and remember. That's all you need to do, Jenny. Because I certainly do, and I always will, sweetheart.
Oh boy.
Did you say close my eyes forever?
No, that was
Oh, no,
Ozzy.
that was a different
That
one.
was Ozzy.
Yeah, no, that was a
Let's
different
not
one.
kid ourselves. You were the one who nicknamed me the God of Thunder.
Well, this is getting uncomfortable, Gene
No,
Simmons
Sounds like
of Kiss.
This is great.
Matt
I love
Connarton
this.
unsheathed.
Wow. Oh
Nope.
my.
Okay, Matt, it's purely
You gonna give him
platonic
some
between you
pointers
and your
there?
good woman there.
Right.
He's going to give you some pointers later? Is that what it is?
Oh my.
Hey, I live with you guys. Can we not talk about this right now?
Wow.
That's
Don't
why
make
you're on
me-
the other
don't
side
make-
of the house.
Don't. We'll have this conversation off air.
Wow.
That's
Too
all
late
right.
now.
Well, this has
That's
been
all right.
this has been very eye opening, Gene Simmons of Kiss.
Well, carry on. I was just calling because you made me reminisce, and I wanted to call, and I've been enjoying your show all afternoon, and I look forward to tomorrow.
All right. Thank you, Gene
What's
Simmons
tomorrow?
of Kiss.
Tuesday.
Tomorrow is another episode of Matt Connarton Unleashed.
He's right about that.
Ah, that's true.
Wow, you really are a fan.
That's true. There is another one tomorrow.
There's one Monday through
On
Friday.
the ball there, aren't you,
Yeah. It's
not
Gene
hard to forget.
Simmons?
Of
Of
Kiss.
Kiss.
Yes.
Oh,
Bono was a douchebag.
Oh,
Have a nice day.
I thought it was One Direction.
Who
Who
what?
is?
I don't know. I didn't catch that.
I don't know.
Square
I missed
up, bro.
Oh.
Oh, jeez.
Scumpy says Cher was late 70s.
See,
Hey.
that would make more sense.
And he, Kiss was not wearing the makeup during the mid 80s. But Gene is, he's 70. What is he? 71 years old. He's going to lose. He's
younger
going to get
than
a
the
little.
president.
He's going to get a little confused with his
Can we run
timelines.
Gene Simmons in 4 years?
He'll be
'Cause
old enough
I-
to qualify.
Seriously.
Well, there is a line in the song "I Love It Loud" where he says, "I want to be president."
Now,
So-
his kids would actually be worthy of putting on some kind of a organization. They're smart.
Right. That is
Yeah.
true.
And they're down to earth and kind of human-like.
That is true. Yes.
Think I might have spotted some empathy. I don't know.
Ooh,
But I
wow.
might have spotted some.
John Sweeney is in the Facebook live chat. I think that's a new name in there. He says, "Tell me how good of a job Biden is doing." Well, I think
for one thing, he totally has now stepped up and said, geez, Trump was wrong. We shouldn't just have an agreement with Walgreens and CVS. Maybe
Yeah.
we should release more vaccine. So, yeah, he did that. He's also released federal service members, mostly in the National Guard, who can actually inoculate people because, having people to actually give it matters. Just to name a couple of them off the top of my head.
we have
Just
a call.
little there.
Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
Hello, Matt. Sorry to bother you. It's Gene Simmons of Kiss.
Yes, Gene Simmons of Kiss.
Yes, as I was hanging up, I said that Sonny Bono was a douchebag.
Oh,
Okay.
Don't speak ill of the dead. Your
What-
mother wouldn't like that.
No, he was
ill-
an a-hole. Trust me, sweetheart.
Oy vey. Oy vey, mein Kind.
All right, Gene Simmons
The main
of Kiss.
reason why I am calling back is because as soon as I hung up, I saw the great Jeff Lorenz in the chat room, and I wanted to point out that Jeff Lorenz toured with us in the 70s.
I didn't realize.
Did he get fired?
Wow.
What's the name of that band?
I'm trying to remember. What was,
Y'all are terrible.
what was it? What's the
They are. They're
Scumpies?
awful.
There's
oh, dude.
Oh, God, I can't think of it.
there's
Hold on,
a
I'm Googling it.
there's
Hold on, I'm Googling it.
there I know
Thank you for doing that, Gene Simmons.
I know for a fact there is a
Yes.
CD somewhere in this studio of the band.
Oh, my God, there is. Yes. We went.
got
we saw them.
2 syllables.
We've been there.
Yes.
It's got 2
Yes.
syllables, but I don't know the name.
Yeah.
I can't think of it.
How
This is awful.
How do you remember that it has 2 syllables? No, never mind. Never mind.
It's on the tip of my tongue. And I'm fully aware of that CD that you have there, Matt, because it was me, Gene Simmons, of KISS, who discovered Jeff's band. I just don't remember the name.
Wow. Is something to do
I
with
got
things exploding or something or
No.
Commando.
command? No, it's 2 syllables.
Bomb?
Command.
I so know it.
I can't. Nope. It's gone.
It's not coming to me.
It's going to come back eventually.
Yeah.
In the wrong place.
Oh well. That's but that's exciting that they opened for you.
You know, Matt, this is going to bother me for the rest of the night.
Yep.
I am going to find it out now.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. It's our friend Texas Mike got kicked out of their show. It was a terrible scandal.
That's
What?
right.
Did
Because he
get
thought he
cut?
was. Oh, no, wait a minute. That happened. Oh, wait. It wasn't just him. It happened to Easy, too.
Oh.
When Easy went to the show and his name was supposed to be on the list, but he didn't know he was supposed to. Remember that? And
Yeah.
so he picked some strange woman who was a member of the club. And then they
Matt,
came
I
up.
am actually texting my tour manager right now as we speak.
You are. Wow.
DEF CON.
DEF CON.
There it is.
Christian found it. DEF CON. Was it DEF CON, Gene Simmons of
What does
KISS?
that have to do with blowing up?
Well, if you're at DEF CON
I found
5.
it's DEFCON.
Yes.
Deaf?
DEF CON.
I am slightly deaf. I
Like,
have hearing aids.
It's,
Like Def Leppard.
right.
Oh,
Well,
DEF? Deaf?
DEF
Isn't that
CON.
still deaf? I'm still hearing impaired.
All right. Well, mystery solved.
Mystery solved. Carry on.
All right. Thank you, Gene Simmons of KISS. Bye-bye. Yeah, DEF CON. Like if we're at DEF CON 1, it does mean things are about to blow up. Like all of us.
That's true, but they wouldn't probably ever really have that happen because they would just be protecting themselves at that point.
Scumpy says, hey, it's Ace. I wrote the song New York Groove about Cher. What a groove she had. New York Groove is actually a cover. Ace didn't write that. That doesn't make sense. Nothing makes sense anymore. This is all very confusing.
Stop it. You're going to blow up Matt's head.
Wow.
It's going to explode.
Jeez, what's going on with your mic there?
What do you mean?
It gets limp. His mic goes limp sometimes.
It's like making weird noises.
Oh, we have a call.
It's Eric. It's Eric. I'm putting money on it.
Hi, welcome to Matt Connarton Unleashed. Who's this?
It's just another Ridley call.
Ah, Dave Ridley. Were your ears burning?
Schweik
Maybe.
over there.
Oh, what's going on, Dave?
Well, apparently the Attorney General's office in New Hampshire is they're requesting information from the town of Windham regarding why there was a huge discrepancy between the results on paper ballots and the digital results that they got from their optical official voting devices.
Okay.
So this is reported by Patch.com.
So there was a discrepancy, like a large discrepancy?
Well, it says, quote, the election law unit of the New Hampshire Attorney General's office has requested reams of information from the town of Windham in an attempt to find out why there was such a huge discrepancy between paper ballots optically scanned on election day and wildly different totals after the ballots, after a hand recount, unquote.
Well, that's something worth investigating, certainly.
Somebody needs to call Trump's team.
And it's official. It's it's a big enough deal that the Attorney General's office is actually doing something about it. Normally, they don't seem to. I don't get the impression the election law bunch really actually cares that much sometimes. But
right.
This time they're taking it seriously.
All right. Well, very interesting. That is in Wyndham?
Correct.
Okay. Well, that's certainly worth
that town that
claim.
has like,
I'm sorry,
what,
go ahead.
100,000 people? Not even? I said that town that has 100,000 people?
Oh, okay.
Not even. Maybe a little bit more.
Go ahead, Dave.
There was also a claim by the candidate for one of the candidates for sheriff in Cheshire County. I'm not sure she made the claim, but I think it was either freekeen.com or Free Talk Live. They claimed that the town of Westmoreland, there were more votes for her opponent than there were registered voters.
I don't find Free Keen to be a source, or that other one you mentioned, to be a good source for reliable information.
Free Talk Live.
Free Talk Live, yes.
Yeah,
the organization that supported the crying Nazi. Yeah, I don't really find that a good source for information. Sorry.
Free Keen is full of hyperbole. However, I have never caught them in a factual error.
From your perspective?
Oh, so you're taking the alternate facts line?
No, it's called reality.
Well, I mean, there's facts and there's non-facts. There's not
The
alternate
alternate facts
right?
tend to come from the
It's
conspiracy
not,
theorists.
It's not a subjective thing.
Those are all those
Hey, I have a
Soviet,
question.
Soviet citizen people. I'm a sovereign citizen. I don't need an ID.
Hey,
Stupid.
I have a question. Do you listen to Alex Jones?
No.
Okay. So, all right. Well, that kind of helps. Well, you listen to Free Talk Live. So that's basically, listening to Alex Jones. Let's put that in comparison.
I don't agree with that.
I do. I've listened to
The
him once.
reason-
Ridley's
I
not
can't-
Alex Jones.
Yeah, the reason-
No.
He's not the green alien snake lizard
Wait, who-
people kind.
I don't know.
Ridley
but,
and
like,
I have differences of opinions, but he's not that kind.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm not trying to disrespect you. I just, from my point of view, I just can't I can't fathom it. Like, I've seen what you do. That I respect. It's just some of the stuff that I've seen. It just blows my mind.
Yeah, Dave's not you're not a conspiracy theorist, right, Dave?
The reason I listen to Free Talk Live is because they're not conspiracists and they get their facts straight. And if they make a mistake,
They
correct
support
it.
a crying Nazi and white supremacy. Pedophilia is on their table as well. I've heard mixed reviews on. So, yeah, again, still not going to put out there that they are a reliable source of factual information.
Whoa.
Well, you haven't named the factual error.
Really easy. Supporting the crying Nazi, giving him airtime, giving him support, paying his bills, whatever the heck goes on there. Dating a child has been in the discussion groups, although some people feel that children, are no longer children when they become 15-ish.
In Brazil, you're not.
I don't know.
Or something
Yeah,
like
no,
that.
I do
You
not
haven't-
believe they
you
are a
still
factual information
Yeah,
organization.
you still haven't named a factual error.
Really? How do I spell this out? Supporting a white supremacist piece of garbage who's going down a street with a torch yelling, Jews will not replace us.
You're referring to Cantwell, just
Correct.
Yeah.
Cantwell,
Chris Cantwell.
who came from this great state of New Hampshire, but was supported by those people, lock, stock, and barrel, was invited onto their show numerous times, and his ideas were given airtime. So, yeah, that's factually bad in my book. You might find that acceptable. I do not. I find supporting that kind of garbage
It's not necessarily,
disgusting.
yeah, it's not whether it's acceptable or not. It's not a factual error.
Excuse me?
With
Excuse me?
regard
It's
to
not
how
a
they
factual
handled him,
error?
they fired
Everything
him.
coming out of Cantwell's mouth is a factual error. He is not more superb than other races. He is not correct in any of his thinking. And supporting that is believing it and sharing it. They did that. They shared that.
That's why they. That's why they fired him. He was
After
a
how long?
libertarian who became a Nazi, and
After
that's why
how
they
long?
fired him.
After how long? And they were the ones that were up, holding up signs and reflecting it on buildings with his name. That was them.
I think they fired him. I think they fired him in 2015. In answer to your question.
All right.
Thank you for admitting that he was there. That's my point.
Well, I don't think anyone disputes that.
Yeah.
Well, that's my point.
Disputed.
And I don't think Dave's a fan of Chris Cantwell at all from
Free
previous
Talk Live
discussions.
brought him back on air numerous times after it came out what his real thought was about other people.
Well, Free Talk Live there's a guy who calls up to threaten the members of Free Talk Live with dismemberment, and they let him on the air, or at least he threatens to kill them, and they let him on the air every time he calls, I think.
That sounds familiar.
To each their own.
So the idea is, I think with Free Talk Live, I think the idea is to be kind of like the phone company, where like the phone company doesn't stop you from making phone calls because you're a Nazi or a communist or something like that. They let everything through, and later
Isn't
on
that
you can be
lovely?
prosecuted if you say something that's threatening or
Yes, they
whatnot.
support
You can be
ideas like
prosecuted.
people shouldn't have to pay a
Yeah.
property tax because we don't want to have people in fire services, EMS, available for help. You shouldn't have to pay for that. That's their ideals. That's the garbage they send out there. They claim that under the Constitution, you're an entity, a corporate entity instead of a human being. That's garbage. That's not factually true.
Do they say that?
Yes, they buy into the
I don't know
whole
about
corporate
I don't know about that. I think
citizen garbage.
I think they Jen. I think they'll let you call in and spew.
Not interested.
An authoritarian plan that you
I got
have.
better things to
and
do
they
with
will
my
let
time.
someone
You can
else.
call me
They will let
authoritarian
someone
all
else
you
call
want.
in and say. They will also let a sovereign citizen call if they want, or a communist, or a Nazi. They let everything through.
Goody for you and goody for them.
I mean,
Supporting this kind of garbage and putting it out there, all you're doing is hurting the communities at large. You're feeding this crap to young people and to other people who are out there trying to look for something to belong to, and they're buying into it, and they're usually the ones that are getting arrested and carted off to jail and trying to understand, but I stuck to the strip. Why did the sovereign citizen thing work for me? I said it verbatim. I even had the paper to
you're
prove
talking
it.
about other people. The Free Talk Livers don't seem to.
Free Talk Livers were
supportive
involved
of
in
that.
the armed people at Governor Sununu's house. They were there with that. They were there supporting
That's
and
a different
encouraging
issue. I'm
people
talking about.
to
Can we stick? Is it possible to stick to one issue? You just
Is
said
it possible to stick
were-
to one issue?
that they
You're
were
asking
making
me for
sovereign
examples.
citizen-
I'm giving them to you, buddy.
You were saying that they were making sovereign citizen claims, and they don't do that. They seem to be against the sovereign citizen claims.
Oh, that's a new one. They used to be for it. They used to help run the classes at the little events, teaching people how to get in and out of a vehicle when the police pulled them
No,
over.
I think you get them confused with other people.
Well, we should. In fairness, we should point out though that the people on Free Talk Live aren't all like Ian and Mark. Don't necessarily think all the same things, and some of the other hosts that they have. It's kind of a varied group. So there might be someone in there who's a sovereign citizen, but I don't remember ever hearing Ian or Mark promoting that specifically. That I can think
the
of.
whole
Anyway,
point of
I guess
using
now
Freeman as a
we've
name?
done. I didn't call in to promote Free Talk Live, but I guess if you wanted to do that, then you've gotten the job done.
I do want to apologize though. I do want to apologize on my for one thing. I shouldn't have compared them to Alex Jones.
Oh yeah, no,
I don't know where that came from.
Dave's not. Yeah,
You don't believe in green aliens, right, Dave?
Well, I'm not sure what color aliens are. It seems probable that there might be aliens
Look, as long
somewhere
as you
in the
don't
No,
universe.
I
that
mean the
the
whole
Shirley,
Alex Jones, David Icke
school
theory
thing.
that lizard aliens populated the Earth. And I'm not even making this up. You know it's true, Dave, right? Like you've heard that. So, obviously,
I don't know. Who knows?
seriously, are you a David Icke
But
guy?
I do know.
Are you
I
a
do know,
David
though,
Icke guy?
That Alex, I do know something Alex Jones has said, though. At least I understand he said that people are being censored, and then after he said it, he got censored. So maybe there's something there.
Maybe there's something there with a guy who claims that the shootings weren't real, that they're crisis actors that have convinced people of this garbage so much. The mom of one of the kids that was murdered was in the news about how horribly she's been trailed by not trailed, but what do you call it? Trolled by these people. That's him. That's Alex Jones.
The censorship bothers me more than the factual errors he's made.
Are you?
You're playing, right?
Wait.
You're playing, right? You're telling me him saying that people did not that the people that were shot and
he
killed
didn't say that. Did he?
were fake?
No.
And that the
No.
whole school shootings were fake?
Dave-
Is that what you're saying?
No, Dave
care,
isn't
you
saying
care,
that.
You care more about... Oh, my God.
I'm saying-
He cares more about free speech,
I'm
even when the
saying
free
that,
speech is horrible.
I don't know. I don't think
Oh,
he's...
I'm
Lord,
saying that
forgive me.
Alex Jones should not be censored. Is what I'm saying.
He's got his whole website. He's not.
Wait. So
I mean, he is, but he's at the same
I
time.
want to hear Matt say this.
So it's the deplatforming. I'm just looking for clarification. So you don't like the deplatforming, Dave, is what you're saying?
Correct.
Okay.
So wait a minute. Whoa, Dave. What about whoa? How does that work with capitalism?
Well, I think one way it doesn't normally work with capitalism is you don't have collusion between multiple companies to censor you on the same day.
Hey, now, whatever on the collusion thing, but if I'm a private company and I own the servers, do I have the right to decide what is on those servers?
I think Google does, and Twitter does, and Facebook does, but do they have the right to all three collude? I'm not sure which companies. Several companies colluded to...
Yes, they do, and I'll tell you why.
Can I finish? Several companies colluded to deplatform him on the same day.
Okay, so my answer to that is an example. Uber rider attacks the driver. Uber bans that customer. Lyft is actually in communications with Uber, and oftentimes they will ban somebody on both services if something like that. Like they communicate with each other and go, "Oh, this one got pulled out of a car and arrested," and they communicate. So what you're saying is that people shouldn't be able to do that. Hey, this group is on my server, and they're saying the Holocaust never happened, so I kicked them off. You guys might want to check it too. That's not allowed?
I'm not advocating using the government or tax dollars to fix something like that. But
How did I use the
collusion
government?
is questionable.
How did they use the government when the three platforms, as you said, decided to kick this person off on the same day?
Yeah, I wouldn't call that
That's
collusion.
what I'm saying is I'm
That's not
against
collusion.
using, like you, I'm against using the government to stop Twitter from deplatforming someone, but it's also questionable to deplatform someone in collusion. Does that make sense?
No.
So, here's my thing, though. All right, so who was it first? It was Jack Dorsey in Twitter.
Yeah.
That banned Trump first. That should have happened. I mean, he was biting the hand that was feeding him, per se, because everything he was saying from Twitter was getting mainstream media coverage, lots of media coverage, right? For even if it was outrageous. Okay. And then Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook, same thing. Just because they ban him on the same day doesn't mean that, Jack Dorsey called Zuckerberg up. He goes, "Hey, what's up, man? I need you to ban Trump from Facebook,
Right.
Ban his page, Archive it. Do whatever you got to do. You know what I mean?
I don't think it even all happened at the same time. But
It happened in the same day, I believe.
Did it? I don't know,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't see. I mean, if everyone is reacting to the same thing,
But also, it's
if somebody does something egregious that everyone's reacting to, and everyone happens to be reacting to it at once and taking measures to protect their own platforms, I wouldn't consider that collusion.
Yeah, exactly. I've seen,
It's not
the
collusion
same
and
thing
it's
with
not
YouTube.
using the government. If those individual companies communicate with one another, or what's most likely what happened is one banned somebody and somebody else went, "Oh, you banned them? Well, maybe we should think about that." So they did it too.
That's the point I was trying to get
That's not
at.
the government using Twitter or anybody else. That's the Twitter deciding, "I'm not going to let you on my platform anymore."
Are you saying, Dave, you think it is collusion, or you think it might be collusion?
I think it probably is. And the other thing is that you can have the right to do something, but it's not necessarily good to do. Like, for instance, a person has a right to not help you if you've, crashed your car or something like that, but it'd be better if they, it'd be better if they stop, right?
Right.
Just having the right to do something isn't the same as it's okay.
That's not necessarily true either. As an EMT driving down the street, your argument says I should stop and take care of that person, period, no matter what. My argument looks at the situation on the dark, scary road, and I'm alone, and I say, "No, I'm not going to pull over for this one, but maybe I'll call 911, but I'm not going to pull over. I have no duty under the law or morally, to stop.
Well, I think his argument says it would be better if you did, if you can, but not that you have to or that you
But
necessarily
it's not
should.
morally wrong to go on and not stop. It's not a moral wrong to drive on past and keep yourself safe.
Yeah. But I don't
For
think
example.
I don't think
Okay.
Dave would argue that you should put yourself in danger, right, Dave?
Okay, yeah, that's what
Isn't
I'm,
your
I'm not
argument
arguing
saying that I should pull over?
Well, I mean, it depends on the circumstances, but there are certain circumstances where one should stop, but yet the government shouldn't be able to force you to.
So that's where I'm with Dave.
But where did the government force anybody to do anything? They made the choice to deplatform. It wasn't done by the government.
I don't know, Jen. I called it talking about some possible voter irregularities.
Yeah.
No, we do have a tendency to talk about national politics
But all
around
I'm
here.
gonna
Go
say is-
figure.
all I'm going to say is the White House didn't call up Jack Dorsey of Twitter, Susan whatever her face is of YouTube, who I absolutely despise, or Mark Zuckerberg from Facebook, and say, hey, we need you to ban this dude.
Well, no, Dave wasn't saying the government did
Okay.
that. He's just suggesting that there was collusion among the
He was suggesting that the
among these
government
companies.
forced Twitter to do it. That's what he said.
John Kennedy was right when he said that if you stop people from being able to use normal democratic free speech means, they will start using other means. So it's not
Like
a good
Parler?
idea to be shutting everybody up.
Again, why does a private company have to bow to your statement and not have and allow somebody on their platform they don't want?
Yeah, they don't have to bow to mine. They don't even have to bow to the majority of their users or to the public. But we do have a right to say what we think they should do since we're doing
Right.
business with them.
Well, yeah.
We don't have a right to decide how their business is going to run.
They could ban
No.
me right now
We
if
can
they
vote with
wanted
our
to.
dollars on where we choose to spend it, but we certainly don't have a right to walk in there and go, I don't like that, change it. We don't have that right.
No, but I think he's saying
We have a right to speak out, Jen.
Right.
You're claiming that the government told Twitter, Facebook, and all these other organizations
no.
to deplatform him, and
I don't think he's claiming that.
No,
that's,
he's
that's
not.
what he said. That
No.
the government.
Yeah,
Didn't you say that the government made Twitter take him off?
No, he's
No, that's why I
I'm not
alluded to.
making that claim.
he's claiming they colluded. Like, he's not saying the government.
He's
And that the
saying that
government forced it.
No, he didn't say that. He
No,
said he would
no.
object to that, but he didn't say that
He
that
objects
happened.
to these people kicking him off, and he's claiming that
The only thing I heard come out of his mouth was that Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and all these other social media platforms colluded together. I don't
Right.
think he ever brought in the government thing. That came out of me, which is kind of a joke in a way.
Yeah. Well, all right. Well, this has been quite a discussion, Dave.
That just went
Dave,
everywhere and anywhere.
it often does, but that's.
But good luck on the Wyndham
But we have fun.
voter irregularities.
Yeah.
I can't say
Irregularities.
I give up.
Yeah, keep us updated on that
Irregularities.
if you would, Dave. Thank you for the call. And
I want to know if it flips New Hampshire for Trump.
yes, that seems unlikely. But Dave, please give the Ridley Report a plug before you go.
RidleyReport.com. I ambush interview politicians in New Hampshire.
Absolutely. All right, Dave. Thank you for the call. Take care.
You're welcome for the call.
All right. Bye bye.
I
All
think
right.
you should add he ambushes stations.
Oh my
Man.
goodness.
It makes me mad.
He's going to
sometimes.
pick on me for talking about it. He doesn't even listen to us before he calls in. He says, "Oh, hey, did you hear about this?"
Right. Well, we don't know. We don't know that. I don't know. Tom Blanchard said in the chat room, Ridley, you sure do love to stir things up. Love that. But sometimes I think it's way out there. Oh, my goodness.
It was like people with Facebook where they post those stupid statements. I don't give Facebook permission to use my pictures. Blah, 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 blah. Gooba, it's a free service you're choosing to use.
Right.
You put something on there, that's what it is.
Right.
Give
Yeah.
it up. That's not how this works.
Yeah.
It's free.
Hey man, you wanna use my pictures and stuff? Hey, give me like the publicity.
Yeah.
Just make sure you tag me though, please.
Well,
we
of
used
course.
to say as long as they spell your name right, it's good publicity.
No, just tag me in it, please.
Come on, man.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right, let's. We are way past the top of the hour. Let's take a quick break. You are tuned in to Matt Connarton Unleashed on this President's Day, and we will be right back. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, everybody. We are way in hour number 2, numero dos of Matt Connarton Unleashed, and we are live from the studios of WMNH 95.3 FM in downtown Manchester, New Hampshire, also on Comcast 97 in Manchester, streaming at WMNHradio.org. It is President's Day, Monday, February 15, 2021. Jenny is here at the news desk.
Hello.
And Christian Lacoss is on the couch.
You.
And for those just joining us in the second hour, actually, which we don't have much left of, but if for those who don't know, what's that?
Did I do that?
No, it's okay.
What even?
But so for anyone who's puzzled as to why Christian is here,
hey, it's me.
Because if you're a longtime listener, you know we've been keeping a tight bubble around here on the show between the hours of 4 and 6, with the idea being that until Jenny and I are vaccinated, we're gonna really not have guests per se, unless there's someone who's already in the bubble. Well, Christian actually lives with us now.
I
so
was lonely, and Matt brought me home astray.
Yes, yes.
Is that how it went?
And it turned out to be Christian. So
I adopted him.
Christian, yes. But Christian is now renting a room in our home. He is
it's a very nice room, by the way.
He is a housemate of ours. So now that he's actually in the household, he's part of our household. So we figured, well, he's in the bubble. He's
in the hot zone.
Yes, the inner sanctum, as they say. So welcome, Christian. And
I'm stoked. I'm stoked, 100%. Like, I've told Jenny this before, I think.
That's what he says about us now. Wait.
Yes.
When the honeymoon's over, he's going to be telling everybody.
Right.
They left a spoon in the sink.
Right.
No, I think that's what you were saying about me. No, just kidding. But no, like, one of the reasons I moved in is because, like, you and me bouncing, like, ideas off of each other, and, like, your creativity and mine, it's like, dude, that's...
When your ADHD meets his ADHD in a sports drink, it's just all...
Damn right, at 11 o'clock at night.
Guys think
but
I'm
no,
kidding.
it's better for me, too, because, like I said, I'm getting a new job, and I'm going to be creating more content on, like, social media, especially, like, YouTube. I'll be going back to YouTube. It's just a matter of when. I'm focusing on building my photography portfolio now.
Yes,
and videography. That's my main thing right now.
Yes.
Building a brand on that.
Right. Very good. Very good. Well, we do have a little bit of time left. If you'd like to get in with a call, 603-250-6007, 603-250-6007. You can also text me at 617-917-4476. Tweet me at Matt Connarton, or send an email to matt@mattconnerton.com. And of course, you can opine and interact in the Facebook live chat. You can also go to my website, by the way, mattconnerton.com, and you can leave comments there, and you can contact us through there as well. And all the social media links are up on the site.
Connarton.
What's that?
Connarton.
Yes. Well, it's pronounced Connarton, which is probably why people often misspell it.
Because there's an A where there should be an E.
Right. The most common misspelling of my name is Connerton. In fact, my very first checking account that I ever, actually it was a savings account, I think, that I ever had was they spelled my last name wrong on my checking account. Or savings, or whatever, my bank account, the very first one I ever had. That wouldn't happen today.
No.
Because of the internet. But back then, when, back in medieval times, or back in Egyptian times, as Joel the Moose Elber would say, they misspelled my last name. That reminds me, too, of course, tomorrow, Peter White returns.
Yes.
The morning show with Peter White, which is, of course, weekdays, 7 to 9 a.m., with a replay 2 to 4 p.m. right before this show. But Peter was out sick, but he surprised us with a call. He surprised us with a call at the end of last week, and we'll be back tomorrow and ready to go. So we look forward to that.
I think this is the closest I've been to Peter in almost 2 years.
Right.
He did let you sit near his big head.
The giant cardboard Peter Whitehead. Well, when he was on the show
watching you.
last week, it was Tuesday, he sat in that chair next to his giant head.
It was kind of spooky.
Yes.
I was like, whoa, it's like seeing Peter's head up close.
Double. It was making me nauseated.
Well, when he called at the end of the week to kind of give us an update on his health situation, while he was on the phone, I was looking at the cardboard head and pretending that his voice was coming out of that.
There were little tears coming out of Matt's eyes.
There were, yes.
He got all upset with it.
Yes.
We had to rock him all night long.
That's right. Let's see. So we have some more people in the Facebook Live chat. Hello to Joe Friday, who says, "Good afternoon, peeps." Sounds like he's been hanging out with Easy G.
Hey.
Well,
I say peeps.
Well, yeah, but Easy G started it. He's the one he's the pioneer of the peeps.
Really?
Yes. Tom Blanchard, referring to our discussion earlier, he says the difference between Trump and Hitler fought in 2 world wars.
This is true. Trump was actually expensively deferred.
Right.
So they say.
Bobby Champagne is in the Facebook Live chat. I think I might have mentioned Bobby earlier. And Miriam Banish, Melanie Fedderson. I'm going to kind of skip a lot of these comments just because a lot of great comments in there, but we are already approaching the end of the show.
Wild.
I do love to
Too
see
fast.
an active, busy chat room. Let's see. Paul Cormier, better known as Paulie C of Retro Spectrum Radio with Paulie C, which you can hear every Friday night from 8 to 10 p.m. And I have the honor and privilege of being Paul's co-host on that program, along with our friend Dan Randlett. This past Friday, Dan wasn't able to join us, so we were instead joined by DJ Steve.
Yes.
Steve Light from Happy Wheels, which apparently was a place that Paulie and Peter White and others went to back in the day here in Manchester. Steve was the DJ there. So it was cool to finally meet him. I've heard him a bunch of times on the morning show, but I'd never met him before until Friday. So that was a lot of fun. We had a great time.
And now this week, aren't you doing something with like 1980s rock? I
think. Don't remember.
Oh, you're terrible.
Oh, Alex Whiteley from the UK is in the Facebook Live chat. And Alex says, "Are you still coming on my show on the weekend, Matt?" Yes, absolutely. Very much looking forward to that. So that'll be great. I'm gonna zoom in.
You just zoom in.
Alex Whiteley on from
Don't
the
go
UK
too fast.
on Saturday. So what's that? Yes. Bobby Champagne says there was a big vaccine debacle at the VA on Sunday. I heard they still have some left. Really? Maybe we need to storm the VA. Get some vaccine.
Don't say that.
Apparently, it's okay to do that.
Oh, God.
You can
stop it.
Storm. Oh, that's true. You just can't incite. If you do the actual storming of a government building, you do get in trouble.
And you're perfectly okay if you're waving the flag around, hitting somebody with it. That's okay.
Well, not necessarily. There may be legal consequences
for that. There are new rules now.
Oh, well, that's
Didn't
exciting.
you see that?
Wow.
Yes. Very good to beat someone with the American flag now to prove your patriotism.
Oh, now Bobby clarifies in the chat room. He says flag protocol is you may beat a person with your flag, but you must keep the fabric from touching the ground. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, you know. Tom Blanchard says, aren't the vaccines needed to be shipped around the world, not just America? Well,
we're not the only ones making vaccines.
Right.
If you look up, a lot of other countries have vaccines. Israel's doing wonderful.
Yes.
They really have knocked it out of the park with getting their people vaccinated.
What I understand about that is Israel kept it super simple. Like if you're 70 and over, you're going to come this week. If you're in your 60s, you're going to come this week. If you're in your 50s, you're going to come this week, and so on and so on.
And that's they got everybody vaccinated that way just by doing that instead of this crazy. And I hate to say it, but this shows us why this is a situation where local control should not have been the way to go. There should, and now there is starting to become a federal standard for states to be able to give the vaccinations out. My dad should be on the list for vaccination now, and he's in Massachusetts. They haven't even come to him yet. Yeah. They're still on first responders. And people over 75, they haven't even gotten to people who have at least 2 compromising issues or over the age of 65. They're not doing that yet. Here in New Hampshire, we've started doing 1B.
Yeah.
And we've dropped our age from 75 to 65. So here a 65-year-old can be vaccinated. In Massachusetts, not so much. This is why it's not working. It's too confusing. And everybody's got a different system.
Yeah. You'll appreciate this comment. Stefan Philbrook joins us and says, and just like that, Dave Ridley comes in like a Easy G speed bump to talk about something totally not related to what is currently being discussed on the show.
And then gets mad at me if I go off into a different topic that's actually more towards our direction.
Well, I don't think he gets.
Hey, whatever.
I don't think he gets mad at you.
He was getting miffed at me for doing that. I didn't be called in about that. I called in about the vote. Man.
Let's see. I just want to make sure. Oh, Gonzo I mentioned is in there. Mike Pelopita is in there. Okay, so we're caught up on the Facebook live chat.
Very busy.
Yes, which we love to see.
Oh, Gonzo. Did you say Gonzo?
Yes.
Gonzo's in there too. Hi, Gonzo.
I did.
Gonzo.
Have you followed this story about Gina Carano fired from The Mandalorian because she
supposedly did something on social media?
An anti-Semitic comment?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I heard something.
I'm not familiar with the story.
I don't
I'm
even
not
watch
well
The
versed in it at
Mandalorian.
all.
And now she's making a movie with Ben Shapiro, apparently. So she's. So I don't know what she actually. So I wanted to get your opinion on this, and I'm reacting to this in real time in the sense that, I mean, this has all been an unfolding story, but I didn't see the original quote. But I'm curious, as a Jewish person, what you think. So she, this was the post that got her fired. Jews were beaten in the streets, not by Nazi soldiers, but by their neighbors, even by children. Because history is edited, most people today don't realize that to get to the point where Nazi soldiers could easily round up thousands of Jews, the government first made their own neighbors hate them simply for being Jews. How is that any different from hating someone for their political views, unquote?
Now, see, I find that that comment in the text that you've just given it to me.
Yeah,
I don't find that offensive at all. I find it very true.
Really,
I do, because this is how it worked. She's right. It wasn't just the soldiers; it was the neighbors in the Netherlands. I mean, unfortunately, we all know the story of Anne Frank. It was a neighbor that turned her in. They were pushed. The people were pushed. The propaganda was hard, strong, and fast. And it was this: if you want your life to be better, we got to get rid of the Jews. We got to get rid of the homosexuals. We got to get rid of the Catholics. I mean, this is what they did. And they believed very heavily in indoctrination. This is why we had the Hitler Youth. Send your children. We'll raise them right. So, yes, the neighbors were made to hate people. They were made to hate people. And it was your neighbors. It was a lot of that. It absolutely disgustingly. But, yes, that's what it was. And that's why we're always saying don't forget. Because it's really easy to be on the other side of the coin from you and not like what you're talking about. And that not like can become hate, and hate can become something else. Really easy. Just look at what Trump has done to us. Look at our country. We haven't been this divided since the Civil War. Nobody in their right mind would have brought the Confederate flag into the Capitol before now.
So you as a Jewish person,
I don't find that offensive. I find it true because it is true. People were made to hate you just because you were a Jew. People were made to hate you if you were disabled, if you were gay. They wanted to get rid of everybody that they considered to be less than their human.
No, I agree with Jenny 100% on this. And here's where I'm gonna trash on Lucasfilms. So that's why
I mean, let's just something else in the context of what she said. Like, was she responding to something? I'm sorry, Christian, I didn't mean to interrupt you. But just say that it is true.
She's comparing, apparently in the context as she said it, she was discussing today's political climate.
But isn't that still true? What has Trump done to us? Americans went into our Capitol in such a fury and such violence. They were overcome with hate and anger, and I'm thankful that nobody else got in their way, because anybody who would have gotten in that mob's way would have probably ended up dead. 5 people did end up dead that day. They trampled their own. They trampled someone to death, their own. They were so enraged and empowered and full of this hate. That's a glimpse of what it was
Yeah.
like in the time of Hitler and the time of the Nazi regime. It's a glimpse.
But it's interesting to me that, you know, conservatives are seizing on this as an example. This is what I find interesting. Conservatives are seizing on this as an example of how, you know, liberal cancel culture and all that. But I actually read this as an indictment. Her original comment, there's a couple of different ways you can read it, and I think wait, you got to let
you say it.
2 or 3 sentences. I think that there's a couple of different ways you can read it, and I think the people who are probably the most offended are reading it as her trying to say it was the Jews' own fault because they were turning each other in or something like that.
I didn't take that from that statement, though.
Well, I know you don't have a problem with it. I'm talking about people who are offended by it. But I also think that, to me, I think I kind of take it similar to the way you take it, in the sense that it's more of an indictment of how conservatives are now, because we have a climate, although she's now cozying up to conservatives, but they're also cozying up to her. But we do have a climate now where, and I guess it's been this way for a while, but it's been building where, you know, conservatives act like other people who aren't conservatives are not patriotic, are not American enough, you know, like you've got all the anti-maskers who think that wearing a face mask is somehow unpatriotic, because if you're wearing a face mask, that means you're against Trump, and Trump is the Messiah. So
and
therefore you don't
interfere with God's perfect breathing system.
So you don't really love your country if you're, you know, and all that. So because when she says, how is that any different from someone hating someone for their political views? Now, she might be saying that, well, if you're a liberal or if you're not a MAGA cultist, then, you know, you're just full of hate, right? Because that's what Mike Doyle says to me, right? When he calls, he says, "Oh, you just hate Trump so much you can't see all the amazing things that he's
right
done."
About that part.
But it goes both ways, and I do hate Trump, but it goes both ways. MAGA cultists hate people who don't love Trump as much as they do. They see us as un-American somehow. So
see, I took this as a comparison too with the conservatives, that they're so. That this far right is so filled with hate and vitriol that they became that abusive.
Yeah.
And that way, I would say there's a similarity, but not the other way around.
Yeah.
But to me, when I hear her statement, I don't see it as Jewish neighbors turning on Jewish neighbors. I took her statement to mean non-Jewish neighbors turning in their Jewish neighbors, because in the case of Anne Frank, that's exactly what happened. They lived for years up in the attic. Somebody in the neighborhood got wind and turned them in.
Now, Alex Whiteley in the chat room took it as she compared the losing American conservatives to how the Jews in World War II were treated. Is she serious? Well, taking it that way,
I'm confused
it's
on
pretty.
that.
I mean, also, like, I agree with what Jenny said. Here's my question, though. Why did Lucasfilms fire her for that? Because she was controversial? Because she was a little bit controversial and trending on Twitter? You took out one of your best actresses in that show?
I think
no, it's not about that at all, Christian. It's not about that at all.
I think a lot of people took it the way that Alex Whiteley is taking it, is the thing.
That somehow she's comparing,
like she's saying that, like drawing a parallel between how American conservatives are being treated, how the losing American conservatives are being treated, to how the Jews were treated.
Now, see, I didn't take it that way, but if you say it that way, then yeah, absolutely, that sounds terrible.
Right.
But I didn't take it that way. But that's me, and that doesn't mean that's how she. I don't know which way she meant it, and you know, can cancel culture go to an extreme? Yeah.
Oh, they canceled Morgan Wallen.
But what we're trying to do now in our society that I think is really interesting is people are holding each other more accountable.
Yeah.
That you're not going to get away with the good old boy joke or the blonde joke or the whatever thing anymore. The bullies aren't leading the pack anymore. And we're changing as a society that now when we see the bully, we go, oh, wait, I'm calling you out. How dare you say that? And they may be very well right with that. But we're learning and we're growing as a society, as human beings. We have to be willing to allow each other to make mistakes and teach each other and be willing to learn how to do better. I feel like we're in a crossroads as a society, and I'm happy to say that I think that we're going in a better direction now, and that we are being more cognitive about the language that we use with one another, and how we can be offensive, and how we can be rude, and how we could treat each other better, and how we should have more equality in every aspect of our lives. Be it racial equality or sexism, we're growing we're having growing pains. It's almost like we're in a stage as a nation or as a humanity. Humanity's at a stage where we're starting to see each other more as just human beings and less as you're black, you're white, you're Asian, you're Catholic, you're this, you're that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a related story on MMA Junkie. Less than a week after Disney fired actress and former mixed martial arts star Gina Carano. See, I knew that. I've never seen The Mandalorian, but I knew that name was familiar to me for another reason. Over social media posts widely viewed as anti-Semitic, a Disney corporate partner has enmeshed the company in a spin-off controversy. At UFC 258 media availability Friday, UFC President Dana White, who's a big Trump supporter, by the way, whose promotion airs on Disney-owned ESPN properties, was asked about the situation. White used the occasion to take an unprompted shot at an ESPN employee of Jewish heritage with whom he has feuded, Ariel Helwani. White said, quote, "Leave Gina alone. Listen, we make mistakes. We all make mistakes. For everybody to go in on her, I love how Ariel Helwani made it all about him. It was all about him. Such a douche," unquote.
Ariel Helwani, the guy that, I know who he is.
Yeah, they have a long feud.
I gotta dig in this. I mean,
Disney has a history of white supremacy beliefs.
Right.
I mean, Dana White looks like an Alaskan bull.
There's a lot
man.
of history. Ford.
So here's what
there's a lot of history that we've got some things to be ashamed of in our past.
So here's what Ariel Helwani had posted on social media over the weekend, and this'll I'm curious to see, because he as a Jewish person was offended. So I'm curious to see his perspective.
I want to understand it too.
He said, as a Jewish person and as a human being, it just doesn't sit well. And I wish she would have never posted that. And quite frankly, I wish someone would have talked to her about her social media posts over the past year. Some of them not even political. Just in general, they felt off to me. I am sorry she has gone down this path. Well, that doesn't really clarify what specifically bothered him. And
if her intention is to take it and do the comparison that Alex is taking, then Alex is totally right, and I'm right there with him.
Yeah.
If you're I don't know. I get told I tend to look at people too good, and I took it as, well, you're comparing. I didn't take it the way, I didn't take it the negative way. I tried to, I guess.
Well, I think it could be taken different ways, and that's what I think is interesting about it. It's one of those things that can be taken different ways. But I think, too, I'm getting the impression that based on her on previous social media posts that she, history tells us how things she has posted in the past, which kind of give us an idea of what her mindset is. Yeah.
And the one post that you read to me in and of itself, it's arguably which way you're taking it.
Yeah.
But if she's got a history, that's a different story.
Alex Whiteley said a Trump flag-waving, racist, far-right monster deserves to be treated as such.
But see, remember, I'm not all in with demonizing the entire Trump family that way, because I do remember that his son-in-law and his 2 grandchildren are Jewish.
Hey, that's another thing I've been thinking about, too. Speaking of Trump's, family, what about poor Barron Trump, man? This man's going to have to live with this now.
Poor Barron. I'm not finding that. Poor Barron.
I don't know. I'm saying that as a term. But now he's got to live with the backlash of being a Trump.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still not seeing the problem.
And he's 14.
Here.
It's not his fault.
Yeah.
He's 14, but he's so tall.
He's huge.
He's huge.
Speaking of political figures and families, did y'all hear about off topic, but Kellyanne Conway's
off topic now.
What are you, Dave Ridley?
Kellyanne Conway.
4 minutes left. You're going to go off topic?
Okay. Kellyanne Conway's daughter was on American Idol.
Yes.
Right?
Apparently there's backlash over that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And she's big on TikTok, too. Her daughter's huge on TikTok with a following of, I want to say, at least 2 million people.
Yeah. And apparently she doesn't get along with her mother.
Oh, no. She makes that very clear. That's how she's got most of her following on TikTok.
The young Conway is not a Trump supporter.
No.
Go figure.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be.
Yeah.
I mean, her mom, never mind. I have my own opinion of her mom.
Right. Yeah.
Former President Trump marked President's Day by waving to a group of supporters gathered near his Florida home in an impromptu rally.
Wow.
Yeah, and the Trump supporters are all on White House. They are on the White House Facebook. I did look at that.
Oh, really?
And yeah. It's like there's a posting about President Biden giving his statement for the day, and underneath that posting, the comment thread is full of Trumpkins.
Ross Story is. You haven't heard that?
No.
Ross Story is reporting a Trump supporter gave $2.5 million to investigate voter fraud and wants his money back.
I want my money back, man.
A conservative organization that pushed the conspiracy theories and voter fraud is facing litigation from a major donor to the group. Quote, like many Trump supporters, conservative donor Fred Eshelman, I feel like I've heard the name, awoke the day after the presidential election with the suspicion that something wasn't right. His candidate's apparent lead in key battleground states had evaporated overnight, the Washington Post reported Monday. The next day, the North Carolina financier and his advisors reached out to a small conservative nonprofit group in Texas that was seeking to expose voter fraud. After a 20-minute talk with the group's president, their first ever conversation, Eshelman was sold. He donated $2 million. And would subsequently donate an additional $500,000. Over the next 12 days, Eshelman came to regret his donation and to doubt conspiracy theories of rampant illegal voting, according to court records and interviews. Now he wants his money back. The story behind the Eshelman donation, detailed in previously unreported court filings and exclusive interviews with those involved, provides new insights into the frenetic days after the election when baseless claims led donors to give hundreds of millions of dollars to reverse President Biden's victory. The article goes on. We don't really have time. But,
they can just give him back some steak and a degree.
Yes.
There you go.
And maybe a tie and a suit.
Well, I'll tell you, it's not totally without merit. They did find actual voter fraud in Pennsylvania. They found 2 cases where dead people apparently voted for Donald Trump. So, see, the Republicans are right. There is voter fraud.
2 cases does not make rampant.
2 cases of people who actually voted for Trump and not
Here's
Biden.
My thing is Dominion.
That blows my mind. I
Dominion,
thought dead people only voted for Biden.
Dominion gets told to make these machines, and in some states they say great, and then you get the rest of them. I can't wait to see what happens with the lawsuit. I want to see how much money Giuliani has to pay Dominion when they completely strip him.
Well,
I'd like to see that. You think that they would put Giuliani and Trump on the same jail side?
Giuliani
put him in the same cell.
He's also facing the bar, pulling him out of New York.
Yeah, and apparently there's an active investigation into Giuliani by the state attorney general's office in New York as well.
So one could easily construe that the 2 of them could very well, in fact, end up at Rikers.
Yeah,
together.
Let's put them in the same cell.
Maybe they could build them a special unit.
Then put a camera in there.
Them.
That'd be nice.
Make a reality TV show out of it.
And I think they should only be allowed to speak to each other.
Right.
Oh God, no.
Well, we are out of time.
Oh God.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Of course, Peter White will be back tomorrow morning. Be sure to tune in 7 a.m. for the morning show with Peter White as he has recovered. Yes. And we're very grateful for that. And thank you to Gene Simmons of KISS for calling earlier, and our new friend Raven, and Dave Ridley.
And Tony D.
And Tony D, of course. Can't forget Tony D.
Tony, man.
Yes, I called it.
Don't you forget Tony D.
I'm kind of disappointed, though. Eric didn't call in, and I got all my bets wrong.
Yeah.
Just like I got my bets wrong on Super Bowl Sunday. So,
what can you do?
My luck.
Don't.
If you missed any part of today's show, it'll be up in just a little bit at WMNHradio.org. All right, that's it for us for now. Talk at y'all a little bit later. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.